Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with a quick review of The Punisher for Netflix. Now, I'm going to try to keep it as spoil-free as possible. Let everybody get into it. We're going to do another live stream in a little bit so everybody can spoil the shit out of it and talk about it scene for scene and such. So anyway, this is a good show. It is. It is a drama. It's not the action-packed film that everybody may have seen in the trailer. I know I did. I was thinking, okay, well, this is just going to be balls to the walls, gun blazing by the way they made the trailer out to be. But this is definitely a character study. It has more to do with PTSD than most everything. Yeah, and it does talk about issues like gun control and such, but it does so in a way that it approaches it from both sides. There is no, I've heard people say, well, it's just filled with SJW. Oh, fuck you. You are chasing fucking ghosts. That is just it. You are chasing the social justice ghost if you see that kind of crap in this show. It most definitely doesn't. Hell, at one point there's a senator talking and says, well, obviously as a woman you should feel that gun control and punish because you're barking up the wrong tree. And then they give the argument for the Second Amendment. Yeah, they approach it in both sides, but they do not overdo it on the anti-gun side. They don't. I heard, oh, this is filled with feminist propaganda. Oh, man, you are way up the fucking tree. You lost your fucking mind, you think that. Anyway, what we do, like I said, what we do get is a very good dramatic story. Now, I do believe that they extended it a couple episodes too much. I think this could have been better at a 10 episode. There were just like, one too many times to, what is his name? Micro's family. They did the same exact thing. The same information from the last scene was given in this scene. They did that a couple of too many times, but that's a small nit to pick. Barenthal, great choice for the Punisher. We all know that from Daredevil Season 2. He continues that here. They do not make him sympathetic, but they do make him relatable. And I'm happy about that because he is a vicious character. He's a time bomb, and he should be that way all the way through. The Punisher should not be somebody's best friend. And even in this, his partner Microchip and him have, while they consider themselves friends, it is a volatile relationship at best. While they could laugh and joke in 1 second, the next second they're at each other's throats. And Micro himself says, hey, look, I have no illusions that I could do what you can do. But it's also the fact that Frank Castle knows that he can't do what Micro can do. So they work together very well. And in that they have a friendship, but it's definitely a volatile one. The relationship with Karen Page never goes into a romantic relationship, which that is absolutely 100%. I loved. Punisher shouldn't have a romantic relationship. As soon as he has a romantic relationship, he's happy, and all of the reasons that he is now the Punisher is out the window. If he was, it's because of his lost love, because of his dead families, dead children. That's what sends him on his war against crime. As soon as he finds that again, yeah, why is there a reason to, quote, punish, unquote? And we don't. Now, okay, here's another thing. I had a problem going into this was the whole let's extend his family's murder to be a part of a CIA plot of sorts. It works. It does. In much the same way, like sometimes you find out like maybe Joe Chill was hired by somebody, to kill the Waynes and Batman. They kind of extend it like that here as well. And like I said, I think it works. Now, I mentioned that it's got something to do with PTSD. And there is a character here, Lewis is his name, and he becomes kind of a terrorist. Now, he comes back from war, and he knows how to do this one thing well. He's having a hard time adjusting to life back at home. And since his life is not going as he wants it, he needs a scapegoat. And he finds a guy who gives him the scapegoats. So he lashes out at them. He tries to, and this is the way a lot of things recruit. ISIS recruits this way. So does Black Lives Matter, Antifa. They all recruit from this crowd of lost people. And so it makes sense that somebody this lost may believe the lies that this kid was told to become the person he did. And in this, it's something because on one hand, yes, he is a bad guy, but in no way is he vilified other than through the mistakes of his actions. I mean, I know that sounds weird because obviously the mistakes of his actions are villainous, but he is not somebody who set out to do evil deeds. He's just somebody who ended up there, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't think I made my point on that very clear, and I apologize, but I hope you get the gist of what I'm trying to say there. Also, I think something should be said about the Punisher for being the kind of show it is. And I look at these like 13-hour movies and 8-hour movies and such like that for Defenders. This is the least superhero show that Marvel has done. You know, they try to ground it in some sort of reality no matter what show it is, yet there are still elements of the superheroics, obviously. Luke Cage is invulnerable. He's fighting a bad guy in a costume. The same with Iron Fist, the Iron Fist. There's elements of the fantastic. This is the one show where the elements of the fantastic are just tossed out the window for brutal, at times, realism. And granted, there is the fantastic here as well. The amount of punishment, quote, or pun not intended, is amazing. You know, there's certain things I'm like, wouldn't you be in shock at this point? And why aren't you shooting him in the head if you already, that kind of thing. But the violence here is not glorified. The violence here is brutal. It is bloody. It makes you think that there's no way in hell you ever want to be anywhere near anything like this. It's not the martial arts of Daredevil or Iron Fist. It's not the superheroics of Jessica Jones or Luke Cage. This is a guy with guns going after other guys with guns. And guns hurt. And at one point, a couple of people are beaten, and it just hurts with every punch. Because you just think, wow, how much damage can this guy take? Now, during the live stream was asked, does he wear the white skull? Yes, not as much as you want, but it actually makes sense. For a good portion of this, he's supposed to be dead because of the events of Daredevil Season 2. And so he gets rid of it. And when he decides to go balls out, that's when he puts it back on. And we see the classic Punisher like we do it looks really good when he does, and it's fitting when he does, actually. So, I wasn't really disappointed by that. I would have, the superhero fan of me, the comic book fan of me wanted to see more of that, but I actually understand why they didn't do it as much. And when he finally does don the armor with the skull on it, it just makes sense, and you're all in. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. The characters, we've got Punisher, the CIA agent. Everybody does a good job. Micro, the family, the FBI agent they hire to find the Punisher everybody does a good job. They're good characters. Even the bad guy, not a bad character. He's a good foil for Frank Castle. Of course, it's the same thing that Marvel does, where it's basically just a mirror image of him. And, and of course, he becomes someone else, not to spoil that. So, yeah, the characters are fine. The look of the film matches the rest of the Marvel Universe Netflix TV shows while being its own animal. So that fits. Touched upon the PTSD. The Stolen Valor guy is a bit of a caricature, but not so much that it's out in left field. Yeah, everything was done very well. The only thing I would say is I do believe it was just a couple of episodes too long. Not a lot. It just could be a little bit tighter. Just a little, like I said, instead of 13:10, I wouldn't drop it to 8. I think that would have messed up the story more than it would have helped. But definitely, I could see dropping it to 10 and tightening up the story a little bit. You know, and that's just to take out redundant scenes. That's not to take out things that the new stuff. There's just a couple of times where they did the same thing more than once, and that's all I'm saying about that. And, you know, cut out those things, and you have a better show, I think, overall. And you probably could cut it down to 10 episodes. And wow, considering I said that twice, that's a redundant thing I could probably take out of this review, but I won't. Anyway, yeah, I think I've covered everything, so I'm going to bring this to a close. Those were my opinions. What did you think? Have you seen the show yet? Are you chasing the SJW ghosts? Are you seeing them everywhere to the point where you think this was one big feminist propaganda thing, or how it's anti-gun, which I don't see how that's possible. But please let me know in the comments below, as I'm sure you will. Yeah, did you like it? Did you hate it? We're going to do a little more of a spoiler talk in a couple of days here. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of the show. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, click like, share, subscribe. And if you haven't done it already, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything else, because cool things happen around here. Also, this is the way we make our living. So if you don't mind heading on over to Patreon or VIDME, drop $1 in the till. Help us keep the lights on. Help us keep making videos like this for you. We appreciate everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all the true believers who feel that vengeance is not an adequate response, it's emotional, and they prefer punishment. Thank you very much for watching.